How could this happen on the global stage of women's football? And what will it mean moving forward? Welcome back to Pitch Talk. In this video, we'll be taking an in-depth look at the controversial kissing incident between Spanish Football Federation President Luis Rubiales and Spanish footballer Jenni Hermoso, which occurred during the medal ceremony after Spain won the 2023 Women's World Cup. This scandal has ignited debates around consent, sexism, and the treatment of women in sports. I'll provide context around what happened, the reactions, consequences faced by Rubiales, and what this scandal means for women's football going forward. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get started. First, some background information. The 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup was held in Australia and New Zealand from July 20th to August 20th. Spain reached the final and defeated co-hosts Australia 3-1 to claim their first ever Women's World Cup title. Spanish forward Jenni Hermoso, who scored in the final, is a star veteran player for both Barcelona and the national team, having made over 100 appearances. She was among the players called up by Rubiales during the medal ceremony to receive their winner's medal. Luis Rubiales has been the president of the Spanish Football Federation, also known as the RFF, since 2018. The RFF oversees all professional and amateur football in Spain. The incident. Now onto the controversial incident itself. As Rubiales placed the gold medal around Hermoso's neck on the championship podium, he firmly grabbed the back of her head with one hand, forcefully pulled her towards him, and planted a kiss directly on her lips. Hermoso appeared visibly surprised and taken aback, her body recoiling backwards after the sudden invasive contact. She did not kiss him back during the couple seconds of unwanted contact initiated by Rubiales. Right after, Rubiales casually moved on and continued down the line, placing medals on the necks of Hermoso's teammates, as if nothing was amiss. But the non-consensual kiss was broadcast live around the world and immediately caused outrage on social media, with many calling Rubiales' behavior completely inappropriate and a violation of Hermoso's consent. In multiple interviews after the incident, Hermoso firmly stated that she neither consented to nor expected Rubiales' kiss, saying she was caught completely off guard and did not know how to react in the shocking moment. She described feeling powerless and paralyzed when someone with so much authority over her career grabbed and kissed her without permission in front of cameras. Hermoso explained she did not reciprocate or want the sudden intimate contact. She was there to celebrate and be honored for her athletic achievement, not be sexualized and domineered over by her federation's president. By Hermoso's account, it was a clear-cut case of her consent and agency being ignored by a more powerful male authority figure, who wrongfully took advantage of the medal ceremony to impose his will and physical advances on an unsuspecting subordinate. Rubiales' defense and response. In his initial response, Rubiales defended his actions, calling it merely a peck and stating it was consensual. He dismissed the criticisms as stemming from false feminism. As the backlash grew, the RFEF issued another statement saying Rubiales acted out of pure joy and that his kiss was not intended to be disrespectful. Rubiales himself did not issue a direct apology to Hermoso. When it became clear the scandal was not going away, Rubiales held a press conference 5 days later, where, to the shock of many, he once again refused to resign or apologize. He continued to imply Hermoso was exaggerating and lying about the lack of consent. Consequences for Rubiales. Rubiales faced several consequences in the wake of his mishandling of the scandal. First, FIFA opened disciplinary proceedings and banned Rubiales from any soccer-related activity for 90 days while conducting an investigation. Police in Spain also opened an investigation into the incident over allegations of sexual abuse. 4 criminal complaints were filed against Rubiales related to the kiss. There were numerous calls for Rubiales to resign as RFEF president. After initially resisting, the heads of the regional federations that make up RFEF unanimously called for his resignation. However, as of now, Rubiales still refuses to step down, leading to chaos and dysfunction in the federation. He could eventually face a no-confidence vote. Fallout for Spanish women's team. The scandal has also severely impacted Spain's women's national team. In protest of Rubiales' conduct, all 15 players on the World Cup squad signed a letter demanding his resignation. They say they will refuse call-ups until he is removed. This situation leaves the immediate future of the women's team in doubt, heading into upcoming tournaments like the 2024 Olympics. The players have symbolically gone on strike as long as Rubiales remains in charge. Broader debates around sexism in football. Beyond just the kiss itself, this scandal has ignited several larger debates and highlighted systemic issues around gender equality and the treatment of women in football. Many have pointed out the glaring double standards in the response compared to if a female official had kissed a male player without his consent. Would she have been immediately fired? Others have noted this is just the latest in a painfully long series of sexist behaviors exhibited by male football executives in positions of power. Rubiales' predecessor as head of the RFEF, Ignacio Correia, faced a torrent of accusations during his 27-year tenure of verbally abusive language towards players, refusal to provide basic resources to the women's team, and cultivation of a toxic culture of machismo. The situation is being likened to Spain's version of the Me Too movement, where women across various sectors are fed up with enduring sexual harassment and discrimination, now demanding accountability for misconduct rather than suffering in silence. This scandal has ignited a long overdue reckoning, amplified by the World Cup spotlight. Turning outrage into action is the only path towards real change. Impacts on women's football. More broadly, many worry this scandal will become a symbolic setback to the hard-fought progress of women's football globally after such a celebrated and groundbreaking World Cup tournament. Having the president of one of the world's most prominent footballing nations behave this way seems to validate the lingering sexist attitudes that women players are not worthy of the same respect and professionalism as their male counterparts. It risks normalizing misconduct. Some argue the quick and vigorous reaction from figures across Spanish society shows how far things have come in terms of awareness around consent, active allyship, and zero tolerance for sexual harassment, even by powerful figures. But Rubiales' continued defiance also shows how far there still is to go in fully uprooting systemic sexism, reforming chauvinistic organizations, and achieving true equality of treatment. This scandal is a microcosm of broader struggles. This scandal could prove a defining turning point, finally providing the impetus to accelerate the long overdue growth and ascension of women's football into the mainstream. But it also cannot be allowed to derail the positive momentum. The legacy of this World Cup must be upholding the notion that women deserve and demand fundamental respect, both on and off the pitch. Allowing progress to backslide would dishonor those fighting to move forward. It has provided an unignorable wake-up call, highlighting ongoing problems around gender discrimination and the marginalization of women's football that must be tackled head-on. This scandal will leave a complex legacy, while exposing the worst of sexist attitudes that must be reformed. The reactions also demonstrate rising awareness and a growing force of allies defending female empowerment. The ultimate impacts remain uncertain, but one thing is clear. This controversial moment will not be soon forgotten, as the aftershocks continue reverberating through the sport and broader society. What final judgment will history pass on this scandal? And how will Spain's women move forward and heal from their World Cup triumph being violated? Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this scandal and the issues it raises in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe Pitch Talk for more.